When our favorite mystery gang has the desire to expand Mystery Inc. and seek out investors to help turn it into an actual company, Simon Cowell shames Scooby and Shaggy, causing the two to walk away and to eventually getting attacked by Dick Dastardly's minions, but then gets rescued by two familiar faces. Now, I know that this is a children's movie and everything, but there once was a time when animated movies could still appeal to an adult audience, especially for a Scooby-Doo movie. Scooby-Doo has had fans since like the late 1960s. That's how long Scooby-Doo has been around. So going into this, I was hoping that it would appeal to me a lot more, but it just felt like it was for little kids. This movie, I feel like, appeals more to, like, I don't know, like the millennials' children. It was just like a modern-ass Scooby-Doo, and I think that that was the wrong way to go about it. This movie was strictly for little kids. However, they did throw in some subliminal shots here and there for adults, like the part when Dick Dastardly is telling Scooby his name, and he's like, Dick, 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 Dick! That part was kind of funny. Now, going into this movie, I was hoping to get a sense of nostalgia, but that couldn't be further from the facts. I did appreciate all the Hanna-Barbera references, though, and how they kind of blended that into one universe. Like, Scooby and Shaggy run into the Blue Falcon and Dynamite. Or should I say, Blue Falcon's adult man-child son in a superhero suit voiced by Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, apparently the original Blue Falcon is retired on an island somewhere enjoying his retirement. Yeah, this movie was kind of disappointing for me, and I know these animated movies are supposed to be for little kids anyway, but so are movies like Wreck-It Ralph and Monsters University, and those movies still appealed to me. I guess this movie did have some okay callbacks to the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You series, like the intro to the show. They pretty much redid that whole introduction with today's CGI, which would have been really cool had it not have fallen short with some half-ass re-recording of that famous jingle sung by some whack-ass female vocalist. They could have just kept the original song and pasted it over that new introduction. That would have been fine with me. Shit, this movie wasn't much better than those live-action remakes with Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard. I think that Warner Animations should have stuck to their original guns and let Dax Shepard direct this thing. Hell, Matthew Lillard bitched a fit when he found out that he wasn't going to be coming back to reprise his role of Shaggy. They even had the original voice of Fred do the voice of Scooby. Now, I know this guy has done Scooby's voice since like 2000, but I didn't like Scooby's voice in this movie. It was slightly off. Fucking Hollywood. And those are my general thoughts on Scoob, but let's go down my list of negatives and positives to let you guys know what I really think. We're going to start off with the negatives, and we'll end it on a positive note, and I'll let you guys know some of the things that I actually liked about this movie. The main thing that held this movie back for me is they completely abandoned Fred, Daphne, and Velma throughout the entire first and second act of this movie. They pretty much followed Scooby and Shaggy as they ran from the villain Dick Dastardly alongside the Blue Falcon and Dynamite. And to be quite honest, I found myself more entertained by the few scenes that we got with Fred, Daphne, and Velma while they were cruising around in the mystery van looking for Scooby and Shaggy. Those scenes were actually entertaining for me. I would have enjoyed this movie a lot more had we got more scenes with Fred, Daphne, and Velma. Even if Scooby and Shaggy would have been with them. Like, they should have just reworked on the script. This movie would have been a lot better had they done some work with that. This movie was too unrealistic for me. It had like a futuristic, science fiction-y vibe that just didn't jive well with me. I wasn't really feeling the whole plot and storyline. Also, the voice acting. Now, there once was a time when animated movies had really good voice acting performances to go along with them. But nowadays, it feels like these voice actors just sign up for a voice acting role just to do it, whether they're good at voice acting or not. And the story I had a problem with. Like, the whole storyline was just so confusing for me. Pretty much the villain, Dick Dastardly, who looks remarkably like Freddie Mercury, is trying to kidnap Scooby. He finds out that Scooby-Doo is like some descendant of some legendary dog who can get access to this portal, that he pretty much left his dog on the other side in the past with all this treasure and gold that he's trying to get access to. And Scooby's the only one that can help him get to it. So he pretty much kidnaps Scooby. And it's just, the story's just all over the place, and I wasn't feeling it. They should have stuck to their true roots and made it more mystery driven, like with ghost, you know, something with ghost and shit, like not all this futuristic science fiction shit. And lastly, they try to have all these touching moments between Scooby and Shaggy that just didn't work for me. There's a few moments where Shaggy feels slighted by Scooby until he has like this moment of clarity, and it was just horrible horseshit to me. Okay, now on to the positives, and the most obvious one is visually this movie was fantastic. The CGI, the animation was great. That goes without saying. Any kind of animation movie, especially of today's films, the animation is always really good, and I always appreciate that part of these movies. So visually, I really enjoyed this movie. It was very entertaining to watch for that aspect alone. And my next positive is the callbacks to the original TV show, which could have been a bigger part of this movie, but we still had two of them that was really nostalgic for me. Like, there's this scene back when they were little kids, and they confront this criminal, and they end up unveiling his true identity, just like they did in the cartoon, how like they pull his mask off. Like, I thought that was cool. We get two scenes like that in this movie. I also thought it was cool and somewhat funny how Fred and Velma were like at each other's throats the entire runtime. In the original Scooby-Doo show, it always felt like there was a little bit of tension between Fred and Velma, so I liked how they put that into this movie. Pretty much Velma and Fred are like fighting the entire movie, dissing each other, making fun of each other. Like the way Fred makes fun of Velma, like, "I'm Velma, beep beep boop beep 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 beep." He just disses her for being so smart. I thought that was pretty cool. That was a funny part of the movie. I liked how they did that. And my final positive is the third act leading to a potential sequel. Now, as boring as the first two acts were for me, this movie really picked up towards the third act, which is a good thing. And the way that this movie ended was very warm and lighthearted. We have all these people dancing. We got the Blue Falcon DJing, scratching the turntables. It's pretty much the grand opening for the Mystery Inc. Company. It was just a really good way to end Scoob. And then Velma gets this Skype voicemail from this lady in need of the Mystery Inc. services, setting the movie up for a fucking sequel, which I thought was really cool. However, if we do get a sequel, I hope the story is a lot better and it's more mystery driven and more like the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You TV series. Something that would be more nostalgic for me personally. But somehow I still look forward to a sequel. The way they ended this movie was just perfect and you wanted more. Like I said, the whole third act really picked up for me and I actually started to enjoy this movie towards like the last 25 minutes of the movie. And the way they ended, how they set it up for a sequel, I thought that was really good. I'm actually curious to see how much money this movie brings in being a VOD release like Trolls 2. Had we not had this whole COVID-19 thing, then this movie would have came out in theaters, which really would have added to my experience, but that's okay. I'm still glad they released it on VOD and I had a chance to watch this movie. So for everyone who did see the movie Scoob, what'd you guys think of it? Let me know your opinions in the comments and we can get a nice little discussion going. I give Scoob a light 2 out of 5 rating. I'm definitely looking forward to a sequel for sure. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name's Justin Ray. I'll see you guys on this side or the other side. Peace, motherfuckers.